What's your reaction to what Professor Mearsheimer said there?
Well, I'm glad we're having an academic, civil discussion of this. I had challenged both professors, Walton Mearsheimer, to debate me at the Kennedy School, to debate me at the Harvard Law School, and they have declined. I wrote a 200-page analysis of their book, an academic analysis. It wasn't a smear. It was a very cogent, line-by-line dissection of their arguments and disproof. And they could have easily tried to respond to it by writing a 100-page or a 50-page rebuttal to my 200-page rebuttal. But they didn't. So smear is not the right word. This was an academic dialogue, an academic discourse. And I think there were multiple sides to it. People took different sides. It was very seriously considered, and I was honored to participate in that. I am not a lobbyist for Israel. I'm not a member of the Mossad. I am an American, a loyal American who strongly supports the American-Israel relationship the way many Christian Americans do and many Jewish Americans do. And I thought the book was misguided, and I thought it was ill-advised, and I thought it was wrong on its facts. And so I did what professors do. I responded to it in the marketplace of ideas. I never tried to shut him off in the marketplace. What I wanted to do was debate him and discuss it with him and get both sides of the issue out there. But they categorically refused to have any debates or discussions with me. Instead, they used the word smear to describe a multi-page analysis. That's what professors do, and that's what they should do. So thank you for having me on to allow me to at least participate in this kind of a debate. I'm not sure whether you asked him whether he'd be on to debate me one-on-one, but there is no such debate here. So you're giving me, thank you, an opportunity to respond to him. I would welcome him responding back, and then me responding back. Maybe you can have us back and we have a real debate. But that's what academics do. And to call one side of the argument a smear is to diminish it in its importance. And it also has the effect of diminishing the original book in its importance. This was an important book, and it deserved an important response. I purported to do that. By the way, I sent it to hundreds of people. Jeffrey Epstein was just one of them. I wanted to get the widest possible circulation. I sent it to every member of the Harvard Law School faculty. I sent it to all my friends in the media. And Epstein was one of the people I sent it to. I was his lawyer at the time. And he responded, as many others did, by saying, I'll circulate it. And he circulated it, and many others did. And ultimately, I put much of it into book form. And the debate continues to this day.
I mean, I guess the awkward part of this is that we've only just learned about this through more leaked emails from the Epstein files. I mean, I haven't got them all yet. And what people are saying by way of criticism is that they think it's inappropriate for you, notwithstanding the fact you were Epstein's attorney at the time, to use him to promote a clearly very pro-Israel piece of, as they would put it, lobbying.
Well, I'm proud of having done that. I circulated it to everybody I knew who had access to the media, and I would continue to do that. At the time, of course, Epstein hadn't been convicted of anything. Yes, there had been suspicions and rumors and charges. I was his lawyer, and I sent it to, as I say, everybody who could help me circulate it. And I'm proud of that, and I will continue to do that. That's what academics do. Today, you'd put it on Substack or you'd put it on Twitter or X, but that was before that existed. And so what I did is I circulated it to everybody that I knew to please get the story out there as much as possible.
But as you know, Alan,
one of the to it. Yeah, that's what academics do.
No, sure. And but the point I would make is that you're very aware there have been these ongoing rumours about Epstein and whether he had a bigger relationship with the Israeli government or indeed or the Mossad through this period. And you know, you're a smart guy. You'll know that this kind of exchange would lend to those who have read those rumours, they would think this is a little bit more credible now, because here he is clearly taking an active role in wanting to disseminate information which is very supportive of the Israel position at the time.
Yeah, but this was done at a time when nobody was making that allegation. I have direct firsthand information. Before I was Epstein's lawyer, back in the 1990s, I was writing a book called The Genesis of Justice about the Bible, and I was in Israel on a sabbatical. And Epstein called me. He was in Paris. He said, "I've never been to Israel. Can you come to Israel and arrange a lunch with me with 4 or 5 of Israel's smartest people?" So I did. I arranged a lunch with the president of the Israel Supreme Court, the dean of one of the law schools. We had a lunch. Then we took a walk to the shuk, and he saw an IDF shirt, a tan IDF shirt. And he said, "Oh, boy, I'd love to have that." And so I bought it for him for, I think, $6 or $7. And he put it on, took a picture with it. And then people began to circulate the rumor that he must be on the Mossad because he was wearing a $6 T-shirt of the Israel Defense Forces. But we have to get the chronology straight. When I wrote that email to Epstein, and by the way, I want all emails out. I've never tried to suppress a single email. I'm proud of all my emails. I want them all out there. You know, I don't know what they all say. I don't remember. But having an exchange with somebody who I knew and somebody who was pro-Israel doesn't prove either that I did anything wrong or that he had a connection with the Mossad. Now, I did represent the Mossad once as a lawyer when 3 or 4 Mossad agents were arrested in Cyprus. The head of the Mossad at the time asked me if I would help represent these people, and I did, and I helped them get out, and I have a beautiful letter from the former head of the Mossad saying, "I'm hoping for a day when my job is not any longer necessary, and maybe I can do your job being a professor." So I have, you know, pretty good knowledge of the Mossad, and I put the issue directly to the current head of the Mossad and the former head of the Mossad. There's nobody in any position of authority who reasonably suspects that they would have ever gotten Jeffrey Epstein on board to be a Mossad agent.
Say, Alan, you say you're proud of every email that you've ever written,
yeah.
but you also say you can't remember what they contain. Are you
No,
not
I can't remember. But
are you not a little bit apprehensive about what may else come out in these leaks?
No, I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong ever in my life sexually. I didn't know or have any contact with the woman who accused me. So from day one, I said, send it all out. On the first day I was accused, I had an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal. I don't think anybody's ever had an op-ed like this in history, urging the FBI to investigate me and saying I would waive all of my lawyer-client privileges, all of my privacy privileges, because I knew I did nothing wrong. Now, did I tell a bad joke sometime in an email? Who knows? Who remembers 25 years ago? But I live a very open and moral life.